All right, everyone, let's start drawing our surreal rooms. This is my final project, but before I get to this step, I need to set up my room to make it look like it's going way back into space. And I'm going to use a few different types of tracers to help me trace some walls and some windows. And I'm going to use my ruler to help me set up these nice straight lines in my room so it looks like it's going way, way, way back into space. So we have a ceiling, a floor, two side walls, and a back wall, a tiny back wall. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this square tracer. I'm going to put it in the middle of my paper, and I'm going to trace the square. So it looks like it's pretty much in the middle. I'm just going to make sure it's not all the way up here or all the way down here. I kind of want it to be nicely in the middle. So I'm going to trace this square with my pencil. So I'm going to hold with one finger, trace with the other, go all the way around. Make sure my pencil is straight up and down so that we have nice straight lines. I might need to move my fingers over to get this side. Okay, so I have this square. Now this square is going to be that back wall. So I have my square now. Now I need to set up the sides of the ceiling, floor, and walls. So I'm going to switch to my ruler. I'm going to place my ruler on the first corner of the square. The square has 1, 2, 3, 4 corners. So I'll start with this top square corner, put my ruler on that point of the square, and then put my ruler all the way to the corner of the paper so that it's touching this point and the corner of the paper, and then put my 2 fingers on the ruler to make it hold it so it doesn't move around. Pencil is straight up and down, and then I'm going to press up against my ruler, and I have a straight line. I'm going to bring my ruler over to this side now and do this point of this square. So put my ruler on this point and make sure the ruler's on this point and the corner of my paper on the right hand side. 2 fingers on my ruler so it doesn't move around on me. Pencil is straight up and down, and I'm making a nice straight line. Okay, so I'm starting to make my ceiling now. I need to make my floor. Same thing for these 2 points down here. Line it up, line your ruler up with the point of the square and the point of the corner of the paper, straight line, and same thing for this side. Straight line all the way to the corner from the point of the square. So now I have a ceiling, I have a floor, I have 2 side walls and a back wall, okay? So it's starting to kind of look like my picture here. Now before we start coloring this, we want to make sure we have a nice opening of a door and a window so we can put some pictures inside of there to make it look like it's a nice surreal room. Things that are happening that wouldn't necessarily be happening in real life. So that's where my tracers are going to come in. I'm going to use this little tracer to trace a window. So I want to place my window on my wall so that this small line matches this small line of the square, and this big line matches this big line of the wall. So my window should match this shape of my wall. See how they look kind of like the same shape? I should not be having my window flipped the opposite way because that would not look correct. I need to flip it this way so it matches the wall. So I'm going to hold my finger on my tracer and trace this window. Okay, so now I have a window on that wall. It looks like it's in the right perspective. That means it looks like it's going in the same direction as the wall, okay? So now on this side, I can either choose to do another window or I can do a door. So if I want to do another window, I'm going to do the same thing. Look at this shape. Make sure the tracer matches that shape. Okay, it's not flipped the opposite way. It should be matching the wall shape. Trace my window. If I wanted to make a door though, I would trace only the top, the right side, and the left side. And then what I'm going to do is take my ruler, put it on this small line, and bring it all the way to the floor. Put my ruler on this big line, bring it all the way to the floor. So I just took these points and brought them all the way to the floor to make this window look like it was actually a door that was touching the floor. So I have a window, a door, and I've set up my room, okay? Now the next step is we're going to start to make these lines on the floor and on the ceiling, kind of like a checkerboard floor and then a striped ceiling. So I'm going to start with my ceiling, and I'm going to start to make some stripes. So I'm looking at this line of the wall, this top line of the wall, and I'm going to put my ruler on that line. Now I'm going to bring my ruler up only a tiny bit, and then I'm going to make a straight line. So hold my ruler with my 2 fingers, press with my pencil, straight line. Notice how this line is going in the same direction as this line. They almost look like the same line, just a little farther apart. So next thing I'm going to do is take my ruler, place it on that line that I just made, and then move it up a tiny little bit. 2 fingers, straight up and down pencil, straight line. I'm going to keep moving my ruler up a little bit until I have lines that go all the way up my ceiling.